What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Listen Damn It, episode 3. Today, I decided to talk about what it's like working in hospitality. I've been working in hospitality for about, I would say, more than 7 years. And so far has been pretty good. I started off inside the hotel or out, and basically just taking care of any guest requests or anybody looking to make reservations and all of that. So I started off working as PBX part-time. I think it was a good start off too, just because I didn't have any sort of hotel experience before that. How I kind of came into it was I was an assistant manager for a store before, and I was looking to get a little bit more money. I wanted to work, I was working full-time, but I wanted to work part-time somewhere else. I just basically had quite a few bills to pay and just needed the money. So my mom actually works in housekeeping for hotels, and she's been working in that for, I would say, 18 years or so. The hotel she was working in, they were hiring for PBX and let me know about it. I went and I got the job. After that, that same hotel, they decided that they don't need that position anymore, and moved me to front desk. So from there, I was a front desk agent, and the first hotel I worked in, it was not the great hotel, or the best hotel, I should say. I learned how they work, how everyone works in that hotel, but it wasn't the proper way that I should have been taught. There was just a lot of things that I've been there ever since, and I worked as a front desk agent for 7 years. Yes, that's right, you heard correctly, it was 7 fucking years. But I mean, it was good in the sense that you get to learn so much. You just have to really multitask at the front desk. It's not only checking in and checking out people, but you get it's a lot. It could be a bit stressful sometimes, but I feel like it's a really good job to have if you're trying to learn what it is to work in hospitality. I feel like if it's something that you might be interested in one day in, maybe even investing in a hotel, you need to learn like the ups and downs of it. And front desk is kind of like, the mainstream of the hotel. It's basically where everyone goes, not only guests but each department. And they kind of have to communicate with everyone and pretty much just do so many things all at the same time. You get people in front of you. They're gonna be that you might be checking in or checking out. You have the calls that are coming in, and you have, even I know for front desk agents, how they communicate with housekeeping or engineering. They would have walkie-talkies. You get the other departments trying to contact you on walkie-talkies, and it's a lot of things. But I feel like that it's a great start and prepares you for quite a lot. And one of the most important things I feel like it teaches you is patience. For sure, you're not gonna always get the best guests coming in, but it would teach you patience for sure, because you will get the most disrespectful, rude, even sometimes aggressive guests coming in that you would just be like either wanting to fight them, or they'll probably even make you want to lose not even lose, but quit your job. But it would honestly teach you patience. And at least for me, I already had patience, luckily, so that was a good a good quality I had. But it really did, and so many things will happen. Like, the tea in working in hotels is crazy interesting, I can tell you. One of the things that has happened to me working in the hotel, this was my second hotel. I've worked in 4 hotels before, and in the second hotel I worked in, I had this front office manager. Her name was Dawn. Shout out Dawn, she's listening. And I will never forget it, and I'm pretty sure she'll remember this too. It was just her and I working at the front desk, and this was like, would say probably like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It was still daylight, and at the front desk, right in front of it, or right across from it, I should say, there's this huge windows, and outside is the pool area. And Dawn has been eyeing the people in the pool, and she's like, I feel like some of those people are not guests in the hotel. Obviously, if they're not guests, they can't be using the pool. It's not a public pool, so it's only for any guest who is staying at the property. So she goes, I think there's people there that are not staying, and I want you to go get this clipboard and come back and let me know. And I was like, okay. This was the first time I had to do this too. I've never was asked to go and check if anybody that's in the pool area are honestly really guests staying there. So I was like, okay. So I went, and honestly, there was a couple, and there was on one side of the pool there was a couple, on the other side of the pool there was like this family. It was a woman, and I believe it was her man, and an elderly woman, and a little kid. And the couple, they cleared out. They let me know their name, their room number, and it was accurate. But the family, I had asked them, and I went to the grandma first because she was the one sitting, getting pretty much some sun, and she told me a room number, but the name wasn't the same in the room number. And I was like, okay. I wasn't gonna make a big deal or anything, because the only thing that I was told was to go make sure everything is accurate and then just come back. So since their information was not matching, the woman that was there noticed that I was talking to the older lady. She came, she was like, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to I was just asking her what room you guys are in, just pretty much checking in on everyone here. And she's like, no, well, we were in this room. We had a friend that was staying there, and they let us come down and use the pool. So I was like, all right. So I'm there pretty much thinking, okay, she pretty much handled the whole situation. And then they come by. The family all come by. And the woman comes with her man to the front desk where I'm at. Dawn had gone to the back office. And the woman was like, can I talk to a manager? And I was like, yeah, but is everything okay? Like, how can I help you? She's like, no, I want to speak to the manager, because that woman that came outside was rude. She was disrespectful to us, kicking us out, and some other bullshit that she was saying. And I was like, okay, I can get her for you. I can get the front office manager for you, but the front office manager was the one that came to you guys. So, and then Dawn came outside. I'm pretty sure she noticed that they were there, because in the back office, they had like a camera. Well, they had cameras in the front desk, and then the screens that where you can see everything from the camera were in the back office. So I'm pretty sure she saw them talking to me at the front, and then she came outside. And she was like, yeah, can I help you? And she was like, yeah, you're rude as fuck. And she's like, how are you gonna be talking to us like that? We were guests here. And Dawn was just like, no, you weren't guests here. And the girl was like, yes, we were. It was just our friend. And she's like, your friend was a guest here, not you. And I was like, I'm just, next to her, looking at each of them, like back and forth, going at it, getting rowdy. And mind you, at the front desk, it's an open area. Like behind the desk, there's no little small door or anything. Like anybody can walk back to where we're at the front desk, and anything can happen. But Dawn was just giving it to her. She was like, no, you weren't. You need to get out of my hotel. You're not a guest here. This is not a public pool, blah. And then the girl was just cursing out at Dawn, and her man was cursing her out too, and she wasn't having it. And for the very first time, I've never experienced this ever in my life, but I felt like this was like And I'm never gonna forget it. It was the most surprising thing I've ever heard a manager of mine saying to a guest or a client. You can tell that she was getting frustrated from this couple that were just getting rowdy with her, that her skin was just getting red, like she was just turning red. And she dead ass told this lady, oh yeah, well, I clock out at 10 if you want to meet me outside. She dead ass told the lady, I clock out at 10 p.m. tonight if you want to go ahead and meet me outside. And I was like, holy shit, Dawn. And I was just like in complete shock and surprise. And I was like, what the freak just happened here? And luckily they were just, when they were screaming at her, cursing her out, they were like walking towards the exit at the same time. So they were leaving, but she was just mad. Even though she composed herself, she was pissed. She went to the back. I don't know what she grabbed to like fan herself down a bit. And I go and I'm like, Dawn, that was a bit ratchet. She was like, they were just getting me mad. I'm like, yeah, but you literally said, you were like, this girl, catch me outside. How about that? Like, you know, like you just literally let her know at 10 o'clock you clock out if you want her to meet you outside. And that was like, and I was, even though I was laughing about it and everything, but at the moment when all that was happening, I was like, damn, these people, like, we're about to like go into a match. Like, the girls probably want to fight Dawn, the guys probably want to fight me because I'm next to Dawn, and we're probably gonna have this all around like ratchet ass fight at the hotel with the camera scene and everything. And I'm like, fuck, damn. And I'd never been in a fight in my life, so I don't know if I win or lose, but either way, I was just like, holy shit, we're gonna need to call the cops. But luckily none of that happened. It was, you know, they were just being loud and dramatic, but I've never had that experience ever in my life with a manager of mine. She was just like, but hey, I respect her. She was like one of my favorite managers ever. And yeah, she was just this awesome woman, like doesn't give a fuck. Like she's just, and she knows her shit and in hospitality in hotels. Like she really knows her stuff. She's one of my favorite managers for sure. But yeah, that had happened. And so things like that end up happening at the hotel. You know, you can always get a guest that extremely disrespectful. The only thing with that is, you know, I've had a lot of training and classes as a front desk agent, you know, on situations on how to handle certain problems and issues with guests, and to always kind of empathize, you know. And it's true, when people, you know, are going through something, well, scratch that. If somebody's, you never know what people are going through, what they have in their mind or anything, or, you know, their personality in general. So they can come in to the front desk, you know, wanting to check in, and if they come off already disrespectful, rude, you know, you just kind of have to empathize. And does resonate, because at times it really works too. If you just go ahead and you don't give off the same energy, you know, you let them know, well, one, the check-in experience better, because they feel like, okay, I'm feeling more welcomed here. And you never know, by you just being kind to them, and just, it might just change their whole energy, their whole, just pretty much, it will just change their reaction to you, you know. And like I said, I've had that happen to me a lot. There was this gentleman that came in. I was working by myself. The things that happen when you're working by yourself at the front desk could be crazy too, but whatever. I was working alone. I was working a night shift, or a PM shift, I should say, which is working a 3 to 11. And I had this gentleman come in. He was an older African American man. He comes in, and I was like, you know, I greeted him normally. Hi, welcome. good afternoon, how can I assist you today? And he goes, oh, I have a reservation. All right, perfect. Can I see a license, please? He gives me his license. I go, I check his reservation, and he has it in there. It's a third-party reservation, meaning it was booked. I remember where he booked it through, but I believe it was like Priceline or Expedia or something. And I know that reservation was, but either way, it doesn't really matter. I was like, the next procedure, when you're checking in somebody, if you don't know, is to receive a credit card for incidentals. Incidentals, basically, it's going to be a hold on a card, preferably a card that basically is for if anything were to happen in the room, or if they decide to even purchase, anything from the restaurant, the incidentals are there and could be used. If they don't decide to purchase anything and nothing in the room is damaged or anything like that, those incidentals, it's just a hold on the card that they receive in between. Well, depending on what kind of card it is, they would be getting back within 3 to 5 business days. And I asked the gentleman for his card for the incidentals, and he blew up. He was mad, livid. He was like, no, I'm not giving my card. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, I won't be able to check you in unless, I have a card for incidentals. He's like, no, this is the only hotel that asked me for incidentals. I've stayed in a bunch of different hotels before, and I let them know that I'm not gonna be in my card, and they don't ask me for it. And I'm like, okay, well, this is a different hotel, I guess, and our policy is I'm gonna need a card for incidentals in order to check you in. And he goes, no, I'm a member. How can you? Mind you, if they're a member for that brand of hotel that they're checking in, they're gonna think that they are of the highest pretty much value to the property, and think that they can they can get anything or anything. They pretty much think that they can get anything. So he was a member. I did see that that he was a member on the reservation as well, and I was like, okay, well, I can't, I won't be able to check you in. And he automatically just goes, well, I'm not gonna give my card in. I'm not gonna give you my card, so I don't know what you're gonna do. I'm like, well, I can't check you in, so I don't, like, we're just going back and forth. And he's like, I don't remember what he said exactly, but it was in the words of, oh, Trump is right about this country. You need to go back to where you came from. And he goes, fuck you and fuck this and whatever, and started cursing at me. I don't know where this sense of calmness came from. And at first I was getting really pissed. I was getting super mad. I can even tell that I was getting red from my ears were feeling kind of like I could feel my ears getting red. And he was like, the man just spoke really loud at the front desk. It just pretty much echoes. And there was a family behind him that was up next in line to check in, and it was a man and woman and their small little kid. And I'm just like, this man is cursing up here, and the family's behind him. I'm like, I need to get him out. So I just got calm, and I was like, look, if you want to go to a different property, you can, but I'm gonna need a card in order to check you in. If not, I can cancel your reservation. I can give you back a refund, and that's it. But I need a card to check you in. And so by then he realized that I wasn't gonna give in. So he took out his silver American Express card and threw it at me. I went, swiped it, gave him his keys, boom, boom. The elevator's over there. That's it. Not even take care. If you need any assistance, I mean, nothing. I was like, the elevator's right there. Your room is this. Bye. That's it. And I was so mad. I wrote a huge email to our human resource letting them know about the situation. And I was like, we need to do something about this, because this man is extremely disrespectful, made this scene for no freaking reason. And at the end, he gave the incidentals, but it was just uncalled for. But yeah, those are the kind of things that happen in hotels, and I'm just like, how is he gonna be discriminating against me? He doesn't even know if I was born in the US or not. But whatever, it's not really the case. That was the very first time anyone spoke to me and told me that all those things to my face at the time. And I'm always nice to the guests, to all the guests that come in. Even if I'm not in the best mood, I'm always nice to them, because it's part of my job. I've accepted that, and I know how to. I've been working for front desk, like I said, for 7 years. I know how things go. But yeah, you get those kind of situations, that's why I mentioned you learn patience. And then I also get the best guests in the world, that they would even go out of the way and send you a postcard from where they're at. Or even one time I had a guest give me a Hennessy bottle, because she just, she liked how her experience in the hotel, and how she was, how we checked her in and all this stuff. So you always have the nice guests too, all the time. It's just, you need to really learn how to have the patience and learn how to manage the front desk properly, and just give good customer service. It's basically that. But yeah, so I wish I have a lot more stories. I can leave it for another time, but I just wanted to share some small little experiences I had for this episode. I hope it entertained you a little bit. It was definitely entertaining me at the time that all those shit happened. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you stay tuned for the next episode. For the next weekend, I will have somebody on. I decided to bring in one person as a guest to kind of talk with and do our very first episode together. So I'm very excited for that. So stay tuned for next weekend.